I'm Dhruv Khurana. I'm the creative director of Almost Gods, and I'm an artisan.
Welcome to No Pressure, the podcast where creatives tackle the tough questions about the business, honestly and without the stress. For this episode, we're sitting down with Dhruv Khurana, the founder of Almost Gods, a brand redefining Indian streetwear with bold storytelling, cultural commentary, and avant-garde design. With a visionary approach and fearless creativity, Dhruv is pushing the boundaries of fashion and shaping a new narrative for Indian design on a global stage.
You should be making money, and you should be shamelessly asking for more money.
If you're starting a brand today, how do you decide where to start your pricing from?
Go higher in pricing. You can't win at first. You can only win at...
Yeah?
I've always wanted to have a conversation about power.
Can you walk us through that a little bit?
My visuals team and me were really talking about doing film photography. We worked with these underground artists to create a soundscape for the work.
If you could pinpoint the three things you've done from a branding perspective, what would that look like?
Just differentiate. I mean, if someone can be like that, looks like that, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I am in bed at 9 p.m. 11 p.m. I'm sleeping. I'm up at 5:30. I love my life that's structured.
Is there such a thing as too high?
You have to deliver the value against it. You can't unjustifiably say that this coffee cup costs 10,000 rupees, but then not sell the world of it being 10,000 rupees.
Hi Dhruv, how's it
Hi.
going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
As you can see, we're in sync.
Yeah. I think...
Minus the shoes. That's what I should have done.
minus the shoes, our dogs are in sync.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, we just discovered we have dogs with the same name.
Yeah. Rufus.
Who would have thought?
Which I think is a fairly terrible name to give your dog.
Ours was thought through, okay?
My dog was named Zero until my mom said that's a stupid...
Zero?
Like Zero Mustafa from Grand Budapest Hotel, which I thought is such a quirky name. And then my mom was like, no.
The creative director, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but awesome. Okay, what we do here is obviously we will dive into the basics a little bit. And I'm sure you've answered this question a million times, but just so we can set context, can you tell us a little bit about how you started Almost Gods?
So I graduated from college in 2017. I came back home to India and I was like, I want to be doing something as a fun hobby, I'd started a business in college and we had raised funding and I was in between Delhi and Thailand at the time. So I was like, whatever moments I have in Delhi, I just want to be part of a cultural space that's bigger than my dhanda. So in college, I had really gotten into sneakers and it was 2014-15. Even then in America, people didn't really know what sneakers were. They didn't really talk about the social, cultural capital of sneakers. Those were all just conversations that got built up later on. Yeah. I sort of stumbled into this world. I became one of those kids who was sleeping outside Supreme, who was flying outside, flying around America to pick up
Long
sneakers.
times.
Yeah, I was not eating food to save up for sneakers. It was my
Okay,
goal.
yeah.
And it was so cool back in college because I would go to a party. Yeah. 2 people knew about sneakers because that was not a thing at the time. Yeah. And you just spend the whole party talking to this person about sneakers. I was like, this felt like such a secret club. It felt so cool. It 90% of the world didn't understand what we were doing. Yeah. So when I came back, I was like, I just want to recreate that world or be part of that world over here. Mm. And I was like, I can't build a sneaker brand from scratch, especially because I'm not trying to do this as a full-time business. That's a high-scale, high-economic play, something like as Nike does in America. I was like, how can I engage in a cultural space? And I was like, fashion is that world. Yeah. And I think streetwear sort of provided the framework, the structure for entering those conversations. So started Almost Gods in 2018. I became a YouTube fanatic, just learning about brands that I'd never been exposed to prior. Something like, Raf Simons at the time wasn't in the zeitgeist the way it is today. Bodhi was coming up. J.W. Anderson was still finding its footing. You would learn about so much that's happening globally in fashion. I was like, now no one in India is thinking about fashion through that realm. Yeah. So I learned a little bit over there, came back to India, started this in 2018. Yeah. And yeah.
Wow. Okay. Like you mentioned, though, streetwear was still new, especially in the Indian market, right? If
Totally.
the West was still picking up. What do you think were some of the first roadblocks you hit while trying to set this up?
I think no one knew what streetwear was. No one really understood what we were doing. The Indian market was super lost, which is why even at the time we initially thought that we're going to start this very like Indian perspective and conversation and aesthetic and dialogue, but try to build something for a global audience because we didn't think the Indian audience would suffice. And I think it was a true thesis for that time, you know. When we launched, we started we had one t-shirt in an 8-piece collection, which is a white t-shirt that we were retailing at about 5,500 rupees or something. And no one got it. Everyone's like, what are you selling? You know, what is this? And it opened cultural doors. I mean, we got in touch with the guys who were operating Fila at the time, became friends. We got in touch with Raja Kumari, Divine, like what was just sort of the vibe at the moment. And we got picked up for Seoul DXB, which is the biggest streetwear festival in the world. So it was, and then we're like, okay, Seoul opens a lot of doors for us. Within 6 months we're at Seoul, they put us next to Concepts and Dior. We have Kanye's team come through. We have Danny Lake giving me a kiss on the cheek. Like it got wild. And that opened up America as a market for us. But it was within India, it was just, everyone was like, what is this thing? You know, it looked different than anything else. People didn't really understand how to work with codified fashion. Even the American market, like kids who had exposure to how fashion worked abroad, Indian kids were like, if I had to make a purchase, I would make that same purchase towards an American established brand rather than something homegrown. So it was very challenging. I think it took us 2-3 months to make our first sale, which was a shoelace that we sold for like 2,000 rupees. And I remember the day it happened, I was like, cool. That was like so unexpected.
Selling shoelaces is where it's at.
Yeah. And then suddenly it just felt like COVID happened and the world just like a switch flipped and India woke up at the stroke of the midnight hour. And it just, everything changed. It's like overnight. So it was amazing.
What was that turning point though? Because you said you had another business running.
Yeah.
This was a hobby.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a new market. Almost Gods was taking its time to find the momentum. Was it Seoul DXP that was the turning point for you? How do you go from saying, okay, this is a hobby to saying, you know what, I can actually make this work and run as a business?
So I think because we were so differentiated, if someone wanted to be a part of this world in India, they had to come to us. Like there was no competitor, and I still don't think there's really a competitor in that sense of saying that if you want to buy an Almost Gods product, Almost Gods is the only one giving you that product, right? And that's how we're always trying to operate. So I think when we started, we got a lot of organic press traction in India. I mean, within the first month, we were in Vogue, Grazia, and we're like, that's cool. But then we're like, is this normal? Like we had no barometer. Like I've never studied fashion. I had no idea how PR works. Like we started getting traction. Ranveer Singh wore us. All these people wore us. I was like, something is happening. I don't know what. But at the same time, I mean, I think the real instigator for the switch into making Almost Gods my full time was I started this business in college, selling bags. It's a very different, fun business. It's more interesting than selling bags. And we're operating 14 stores across Southeast Asia and the Middle East. COVID hits, huge cash crunch for a business that was basically funded. You know, we were not bootstrapped, but we had raised, but it was not a huge amount of money. So we closed up shop, and it gave me time to like rethink about my priorities. I was like, Almost Gods got all this natural traction without me having to put in that much work.
Sure.
You know, I was like the intrinsic strands of it. I think the DNA of it was so exciting. It kind of did something right, even if it didn't turn out into necessarily economic results. I was like, and truly it was something that I was the most excited about. I mean, the people that I was getting access to through Almost Gods, the kind of conversations I got to have through it was 10x more exciting than pitching bags all day.
I just want to say, this is not as boring as he's making it out to sound. Okay, a patented thing is not the same thing as being like, hey, I'm selling bags. Just for context.
So it wasn't bags. It was, there's a fabric called Velcro, which sticks things to other things. And we had a pattern on this particular kind of Velcro, this treatment, which made it feel like cotton. It was machine washable and allowed us to cover bags in this fabric.
Yeah.
And so people could essentially throw badges on it and change them out and have your personality.
Again, not boring.
Not boring at all, but
yes,
very,
but we hear you.
dhanda. You know, like we were working with licensors. We were working with Disney, Nickelodeon, I mean, Marvel. Like I had all like my childish toys were like finally up on my bag. You know, we were going to become the bag of FIFA at one point before everything went to shit with COVID. But again, fun.
No, it's fine.
Fun for what it was.
It's just the geek inside me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Listen, I loved it, but it wasn't scratching that creative itch.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. And so when COVID hit, and I was like, things really suck, and we had to let go of like 60 people in the span of a month. We closed these stores in, I think, 2 to 3 months. It was havoc. I was like, what do I really care about? And it was almost God's. And I just took it from there, yeah.
That's beautiful, though. And kudos to you, because it is obviously making the waves. But, you've talked a lot about how it was the only thing that was doing or creating a certain kind of space culturally for it. What does that design process look like? How have you found that identity that you wanted it to have in terms of the design language, in terms of the look and feel?
I think I've always wanted to have a conversation about power. That's something that I intrinsically find very exciting. Sure. My granddad was an army general. So it's just I've grown up in a world of like, I love that idea of structure. I love the idea of discipline. And I love what, the positive aspects of what an army can mean. It really, I mean, for me, my grandfather was my hero. And I see him in the way he operates, and when he carries himself, it's just like, goddamn, So it's that conversation of power always fascinated me. I studied international relations in college, which was, I think, building on that thing of saying, how does political power work between so many countries? How does it work at a global level? So I think I really wanted to engage in that conversation, and that sort of became the framework for Almost Gods. In terms of how we design collections, I think we're very cognizant to say that how do you have a conversation within the realm of power and sort of come at it from a different perspective. You always want it to be contemporary. You always want it to speak to the now. And I think art is only powerful if it's speaking to the now.
Sure.
But the way you sort of go there, the way you get to that conversation, you don't need to necessarily talk about current events. You don't need to necessarily address what's happening in Ukraine and Russia by saying Ukraine and Russia. You can bring that sentimentality, that idea through your clothes. You can bring a message through your clothes. So we have power defining that conversation. We know the contemporary is kind of defining what we want to talk about. And then how do you differentiate it is, I think your voice does a lot. And I think the things that really fascinate you, and now for me, it's my team, is what translates through into the final product.
Yeah. Do you design this? I mean, did you design the stuff yourself initially?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to break down the creative process a little bit, okay? Because
sure.
Thematically, yes, I'm with you, and I see why you're headed with this. But obviously, the objective of this is also to be able to understand how different people approach the act of designing themselves.
Sure.
Can you walk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always different. There's never been a one fixed route. There have been times where a particular story has been so exciting. I read Dune a couple of years back, and I went through the 20 books in the span of a year, and I was just like, this world is incredible. Yeah. So I think Dune itself was so loaded with powerful imagery and sort of the kind of conversation it was having. The Bene Gesserit, which is the cult within Dune, they have this power called other memory, and which is sort of the power to look at all the memories of their past ancestors, and then it'll give you a sense of what's going to happen, play out in the future, which translate into a collection. We had a collection called Other Memory. That was the starting point for it. At the point, we were also someone in my team was really fascinated by the idea of sound. My visuals team and me were really talking about doing film photography. So, I mean, it's just the curation happened so interestingly because Other Memory provided the framework, but then we brought on Shubham Lodha, who's this incredible film photographer, to help shoot this campaign over 3.5 months of work. We worked with these underground artists to create a soundscape for the work. And I just think it was a curation of things that we were excited about that informed that collection. flip side, we had a collection called Fruit Shop at the End of the World. And the way that happened was COVID was coming on, and I looked at a fruit shop and I was like, that's cool. We should sell something at a fruit shop. And
I love that.
Yeah. And,
Sure.
and we went from there. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's a particular route that we want to limit ourselves by.
Okay. I have a very random sidebar question.
Go for it.
Is that the superpower you'd want?
Which one?
Other memory. Sorry.
I would like to be Spider-Man. I
Really?
adore Spider-Man. Everything about Spider-Man I find phenomenal.
Did not see that one coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Does it ever get hard though, juggling the business side of it and the design side of it? Because you seem like somebody who has both sides of that, And I think one of the conversations I've obviously found myself in a lot is that being a creative is slightly detached from being the business voice of it, right? And a
Yeah.
lot of people struggle with that. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I think there's a reason why every successful fashion art output has always had two sides, like a business and a creative. Yeah. And I think doing both has been, it's difficult in a small scale, and by the time you scale up, I think it's damn near impossible. Yeah. And you see brands, even like a Jacquemus, struggling with it today, where their CEO went out the door in for a year, 2 years. Yeah. It is very difficult to do. I think there are very few people who can sort of thread that line. Yeah. I think initially for me, it was, if I was in a creative space, to shift to a business headspace was a day, 2 days of just starting to think different.
Yeah.
The creative wants to be liberal with things. The creative wants to explore things. The business is rational, So it does take time.
Yeah.
But over the last couple of years, I've gotten way better at it.
Yeah.
I think for me, I can make that switch now, in minutes, in hours.
Yeah.
But that being said, I do have my role models who I think did the creative and business thing. If you look at what the hell's his name? The guy who's the creative director of Burberry.
I really want to be able to help you out here,
Yeah,
but I think my knowledge of fashion is a little...
This guy was basically the last successful creative director of Burberry, where Burberry was the house leading fashion.
Yeah.
And it all crashed after him, but he ran the business and the creative. If I look at Steve Jobs,
Sure.
Steve Jobs truly ran creative and business for Apple. So, there are people who I look at my role models in those kind of ways, but it's far and few.
Are there things that you figured out about doing that made it easier for you to make the switch? I have random ways of doing it for myself, but I think for everyone that kind of looks different to be able to snap out of it. And like you said, it's gotten easier. Is there anything that you picked up along the way that became your way of tackling that framework?
I think it was practice, and I feel like, and I don't know if this is real or if I've put this on myself, but I feel my brain working differently in both cases.
Yeah.
I feel myself thinking so differently in both cases, and now I try to see it as a synergy that's getting formed there.
Yeah.
So, and truly, the business is freaking exciting. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's as exciting as the creative.
Yeah.
So I think if you can maintain that excitement both ways, it works out.
What about burnout? You struggle with that? Because I think, of course, the hope is that you can look at art and business from this lens of constant excitement because it is something you love.
Yeah.
But of course, there are days that are hard, and I'm sure building this could not have been easy.
Yeah.
What is your way of dealing with that?
The first few years, I think there was burnout.
Yeah.
There were those periods of you go 6 months non-stop and then you crash. But now I feel like something that really helped me is just getting a sense of gratitude, where a couple of times in a day, I'm just like, wow, I can't believe I'm in this position. This is what I'm doing for a living.
Yeah.
Even when it sucks, it's just like, this is what I get to spend all my time doing.
Yeah.
I'm playing.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
So that has really helped just take it away. Even when it sucks, it's good.
Yeah. It's actually funny you said that because recently I picked up this book. There's a productivity expert on Instagram, obviously, called Ali Abdul.
I was just thinking Ali Abdul. I was
Yeah,
like, you're gonna say,
yeah,
I've read
yeah.
everything that he's ever recommended.
Oh my God. So I was reading that, and
Okay.
you know how he talks about this lens of play?
Yes.
And I was like, okay, this is such a simple thing, but I think we forget this so often. And of course, like, I don't blame us because life is real. But
Yeah.
it's so funny that you mentioned that today, because I think that changes everything, right?
True.
Like, if you can just go back to everything you're doing and just say, how do I have fun with this?
Yeah.
It's a very powerful feeling.
And truly, being a creative in whatever part of the creative industry you're in, if you
Yeah.
are a creative,
Yeah.
how many people get to be
Yeah.
in that space? Like, that is your dream. It sucks at times, but that's how many people get to be in the space that's their dream
Yeah.
space.
You know, I get that, but I often wonder, and I guess having met a lot of people in the art space specifically, of course, I feel like that's an easier thing to say because not everybody makes it, right? So, like, you get to do it, but the sustainability of it is not an easy thing, right? And so then
True.
the idea is that you lose the fun because it becomes threatening.
Have you read The Fountainhead?
I actually haven't. This
Okay.
is a really yes. Okay,
I would
sorry.
highly recommend reading The Fountainhead to everyone. It's my favorite
Okay.
book. I think to that idea is to say that if you truly love something, you're not really doing it for the benefit of others telling you it works or not. If it fails, it fails, but you get the joy of living a life doing something that you're excited about. The Fountainhead's all about being so selfish, you know,
Yeah.
and if you're truly selfish, that external outcome does not matter. And I think it is easier said than done. These are high ideals to live by.
Yeah.
But I think trying to be cognizant of it and just like truly snapping yourself out of it to be like, shit, like I'm so lucky to be in this space
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so always easy to punch down to be like, AG hit 100K on Instagram recently, right? And on one end,
Congratulations.
thanks. On one end, there's this thing of like, okay, but we should be at 300K. Flip side, I open Google just to be like, where does 100K stand on a percentile scale? The top 5% of Instagram accounts are like 100K. Like only 5% of all Instagram accounts have more than 100K followers.
Really?
So if I look at it flip side, AG's already
Made
done
it
more than
very far.
95%. So it's fine, you know?
Yeah.
If you're in the creative space and you want to be a director, but you're a producer or whatever, producer's assistant,
Yeah.
you're in the room.
Yeah.
That's more than so many people can say.
Yeah. You know, again, I'm just playing devil's advocate because I think this is one of those conversations that I think actually does make the whole difference. Again, completely aware of that, and I think for everyone, yeah, it's exciting to be there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it comes from like a place of privilege where I look at it and I'm like, okay, yes, I can do that. But the idea of sustaining that feeling when it's not working, right? Like, okay, let's say I've been a DA for 5 years, theoretically.
Yeah.
Or I've started my own brand, or I've done my whatever. I'm a musician and I've been doing it for like 4 or 5 years. I'm not talking about the 100K and above, metaphorically. But let's say you're in that 0 to 5,000 bracket, right? And you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and it's not working.
Sure.
Then how do you...
why is social validation the thing that's driving you?
I'm not talking about no, sorry. The 5K was an example based on what you said.
I mean, I'm saying using that as a barometer.
I'm saying monetary, essentially, right? Because we can't detach the ideas of livelihood and space from what people are choosing to do with their careers.
Why?
Right?
What do the two have to do with one another? If you wanted, let's say you want to be an architect, right? And I'm just playing off a fountainhead.
Yeah.
Even if no one recognizes your work, and I'm spoiling the book for you, and no one wants to pay you for it, and no one wants to give you, and everyone laughs at what you're doing as an outcome, but you truly believe in it, and you truly think that, listen, I'm onto something, I'm excited about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Why can't that be enough to like sustain you?
I mean, bills.
Sure. But listen, there's more than one way to get money.
No, absolutely. This is obviously only in the context of people who are only choosing to do that, right? Because then there are other arguments, time, money. But I think we're sidetracking. So I'm going to bring this back a little bit. I think what you said is important. And I think that I'm not trying to take away from the idea of it. And I will definitely check out the book because it has been on my list for a very long time. But okay, I mean, where you're at now, right? I know that you've talked a lot about collaborations, right? How does that fuel the process? How do you pick the people that you want to work with? Where does that come from?
I think the idea of picking someone that we want to work with is a very privileged position that I've only recently found myself in. It was earlier just knocking at 100 doors and hearing a lot of rejection. It was us sending out so many emails to companies and artists and people and just being like, nothing. And it's felt like overnight something has shifted, AG gained momentum. I think 2021 we started our first store. It led to 22 our second store, 23 our next store. And now we have G-Shock as a collab that just came out. We're the first Indian brand to do a collaboration with any watch brand.
That's amazing, yeah.
It was surreal, you know.
Sure.
And now I have access to people that I never thought I'd have access to. I can start conversations that that are with my heroes. So it's just to finally be in this place, to finally get emails from the people I was emailing being like, yo, want to do something? And me being like, nah, I'm cooler than you now.
I love that.
It's a very cool full circle moment.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So now I feel like we have access. We can and having collaboration makes things all the more exciting because cultural output or creative output that comes out from more than one voice is always so exciting. Is so exciting. So I'm very excited for the next 2, 3, 4 years that I have collaborations lined up, and I'm just like,
what is the most exciting collaboration you think you've done or are about to do?
G-Shock has definitely been that India Art Fair. To be the youngest brand to work with India Art Fair is awesome. We're doing another one on the 6th of Feb.
We have to go check it out. Yes.
And then all the others are under NDAs for now. But as of the things, as of now, the things that have come out, I think those have been my 2 favorite ones.
Yeah. Okay, I'm excited to see this. It sounds super exciting. I want to ask you, obviously, if you could pinpoint, let's say, the 3 things you've done from a branding perspective as while building Almost Gods. And if you're looking to basically, I wouldn't say a guidebook, but essentially if a younger person is trying to get into this and trying to build something of their own, and you could give them 3 pieces of branding advice, what would that look like?
I think to understand that branding is very much driven by a business goal, or branding is driven by a larger goal. You can't look at and this is a mistake that we made, which is what I learned from, is when we started, we looked at a Loewe, we looked at an LV, we looked at things that were not in our realm, but just brands that we saw as being successful brands. And be like, what are they doing right? How can we sort of emulate that in our own language? And I think down the line we said, oh shit, their business goal, their structural goals, their creative goals are entirely different than what our goals are. The narrative that a Loewe is selling and saying handcrafted, it's the Spanish heritage, is not Almost God's narrative. Why does Loewe do a collaboration with Japanese artists every year? It's something I only learned recently. It's because their market in Japan is the weakest.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're just trying to strengthen that market.
Damn, that's interesting. Okay.
Right? So I think it has to come from a place of saying, what do I or we as an organization want our goals to be, and have that dictate the branding. That be the number one takeaway. And I think that expands beyond branding to every decision. Don't blindly copy. Think about why they're doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be the first one. The second would be to just differentiate. The more you copy or you play into the things others are doing without any sense of originality, or if someone can be like, that looks like that, you're wrong. You need to have your voice, your perspective, your flavor. There needs to be a reason you exist. If you're doing this for yourself, do an art project at home, don't put it out as output.
100%.
Would 2 advice work? Was that
I think that's pretty
cool.
good. I think those were substantial.
Cool.
I also want to get into the financials of this a little bit, because I think that's one of the things we actually don't talk about enough as an industry. But if you're starting a brand today, how do you decide where to start your pricing from? How to define your price points.
I would say go higher.
Yeah.
No matter, like, let's say in your head you're thinking, I want to sell this for 100 rupees, I'll say sell this for 500 rupees. Someone's telling me I want to sell it for 500 rupees, I'll say sell it for 1,000 rupees. Just baseline, advice to everyone, go higher in pricing.
Really?
Yeah, because you can't play a cost game. Cost games are only played when you have access to insane amount of scale, or you have access to insane amount of operating capital, which if you're starting out, and to the people that, a platform like Artisan is going to talk to is people who really want to start from scratch and then build something.
Yeah.
Wow. You can't win at cost. You can only win at a place where you have enough money coming in for your work, and then you can use that money to deliver that much value.
Yeah.
And feed that virtuous cycle.
Is there such a thing as too high?
You have to deliver the value against it. Okay. You can't unjustifiably say that this coffee cup costs 10,000 rupees, but then not sell the world of it being 10,000 rupees.
So the story you build around it.
The story, the product, however you justify value, the value needs to be justified.
Sure.
So if you can justify this is a $1 million coffee cup, and then justify it, whether it's price, story, positioning, Hailey Bieber's carrying it, it's fine.
Yeah, sure.
Stanley
Cup, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I don't think there's ever a barrier to price. I think people are so afraid of having the money conversation, especially creatives, because it's been demonized, the world of monetary gain. But you should be making money, and you should be shamelessly asking for more money. Yeah. But then provide the value. If you can't provide the value after you ask for the money, out.
I have to say, I think that that was very, very well said. I think that is the best summed up answer I've heard to this question. So thank you for that.
Of course.
What do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about the fashion industry today, or young designers have?
The biggest misconception people have? See, I think young designers think that ideas do a lot. They think that their ideas carry so much weight. Oh, I have such cool ideas. This brand the brand would be so lucky to have my ideas.
Yeah.
But truly, ideas mean nothing.
So you can say it.
Dude, we have 10,000 cool ideas a day.
Yeah.
Getting it executed in real world terms, getting it executed well. Yeah. I've met a handful of people who do that. Yeah. And I think a good artist is the one who knows how to execute. Ideas are nothing.
Yeah. And I guess it also shows intent, right? If you can really put your money where your mouth is.
Totally.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. If you could give yourself one piece of advice when you were starting out Almost Gods in 2018, what would that look like?
I think it would be to just constantly remember why I'm doing this. Because getting into Almost Gods, it was this thing of saying I'm exiting business as a world, but I'm doing Almost Gods because it is the thing that truly gave me the most joy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the smartest money decision.
Sure.
But it was just this place that I was so excited about.
Yeah.
I would wake up at 3 a.m. with design ideas and have my phone full of notes and it'd just be full of screenshots of like, that's cool, this is what we can do.
Yeah.
And I think as we went along and I was like, oh shit, the first couple of years, like, we're not making enough money.
Yeah.
What do we do? And it's like, okay, this product sells. Let's put out another version of this product that I'm not creatively excited about. I'm like, but dhanda chalana, dhanda scale karna hai.
Yeah.
And then it somewhere becomes that same thing of being like, oh, I'm going back into the business side of it. I think to start pulling it back, and it's only something I've started doing more and more in the last year or two, is to be like, I love my creative space. Yeah. Like, I am going to make sure I'm doing the smart decisions that balance the financial to put out certain products that I would ideally not have to put out. But I know I have to run the business.
Yeah.
But I'm doing this to be creative, and I'm doing this to talk to creative people and to just engage in spaces that as a kid I was like, I can't believe I have access to.
Yeah.
So just to enjoy that and to know how lucky I am.
What is the thing that you would like to fix about the way that the fashion industry works today?
It's so undisciplined. It's terrible. It's like, it's hedonistic at points.
Yeah.
And it's I don't understand how a lot of people work within this industry because people work between the hours of 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. And I'm very much
you can say that again.
Like I am in bed at 9 p.m. 11 p.m. I'm sleeping. I'm
Yeah.
up at 5:30. Like I love my life that's structured. And this fashion industry is completely antithetical to that. So if I do have to go meet someone, I have to grab a drink.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
annoying. If I have to go network or whatever you may call it, I have to go for a party, which I'm really past that point where I'm like, I want to go party, you know? So it's just, I think that is something I would love to change.
Yeah.
That being said, so much of the excitement and the thing that special thing about the fashion world, or creatives, is so unbridled. It's so, it comes from the universe and it's ethereal and it's, if you try to bottle it up, like you screw it up.
Yeah.
So it's
emotional, right? Like the thing is, a lot of these things, it's about what they make you feel, not the practical, rational sides of it. I fully get it because I'm like at a festival and I want to enjoy the music and I want to be there, but I know how I'm occupying the space also.
Yeah.
And to be able to continue to enjoy that while you're networking is, it's a fine line to walk. Yeah. No, but I mean, do you think that is changing? Do you think it'll ever change? Because like you said, it's such a core like part of what we do.
How do you change it? It's as long as there are people.
Boundaries. I will only meet you at 9 a.m. breakfast.
Listen, I try doing that.
Yeah.
So much of my time, I try to like morning breakfast dosas. Let's go. Let's do that instead. Yeah. And it happens sometimes, but you can't avoid it. And that's the thing. If you kill that part, and as much as I gripe about it, if you kill that part, you lose what's special about whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, because we don't know what we're doing. It's just we're doing something.
Yeah. Going with the flow. It
feels like something. Yeah, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, no, I love that. I think we've covered a lot of ground, but if there was the last piece of advice you could give to not just designers, because I think what you do kind of goes beyond that and kind of cuts through it. Young entrepreneurs. I'm going to really open up the gamut for you here.
Cool.
Young entrepreneurs, designers, creatives at large. What would that be? You can't say, remember why you started. Just.
I think just know that it'll suck. Like there will, whatever you're most excited about.
Oh my God.
If you're into shoes, or if you're into music, or if you're into whatever the hell you're into, at some point when you stop going from being a consumer of that thing to being a creator of it, like the way you perceive it and all of it, your relationship with that thing changes. Yeah. There's a reason creative directors wear white t-shirts and blue jeans and all black, and it's just because you're exhausted being around clothes all day and thinking about that all day. So it's I
love how honest this answer was.
It's
like it will suck. No, you're right, absolutely.
And it's gonna be so drastically different than the reason you got into it, because you pictured like you're a consumer, but it'll be consumer max when you're inside the creation process. But the engine works totally different than when you're buying the car. You know, it's just like they're two different things. So it will suck, but you'll just be like, wow.
It's also cool.
It's also cool.
I think that's amazing. I think you've given us a hell of a lot of food for thought. And honestly, thank you so much for making time for this. This has been such a fun chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is awesome.
Amazing. If you enjoyed this conversation, like, share, and subscribe to help us bring you more unfiltered creative stories. Got someone in mind for our next guest? Drop your suggestions in the comments and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode.